Namaste to everyone. In this discussion, we are going to discuss on the subject matter of the Purusha Sukta and the anthropology of social creation from cosmic myth to cultural order. The Purusha Sukta of the Rig Veda, that is Mandala 10.90, stand as one of the most profound and multi-layered compositions in early Indo-Aryan literature. More than a sacred hymn, it is an anthropological mirror reflecting how ancient Indian society perceived the universe, social organization, ritual theory, the cosmic order. Though symbolic disbursement of the cosmic being, Purusha, the Sukta constructs a mytho-poetic blueprint of the cosmos and society, revealing deep insights into human cognition, social hierarchies, and cultural values. The present discussion repositions the Purusha Sukta not only a theological text but a sophisticated anthropological artifact. It reveals how early Vedic communities explained the origin of the universe, legitimized social divisions through symbolic metaphors, and performed rituals to sustain moral and cosmic balance. Drawing on comparative mythology from Norse to Mesopotamia, Chinese to Egyptian, we explore the universal motif of creation through sacrifice, situating the Purusha myth within a global cultural context. Using key anthropological frameworks from Malinowski's functionalism and Durkheim's collective conscience to Murray Douglas' theories on purity and Levi-Strauss structuralism, we interpret the Sukta as a socially encoded system that reinforces social order through divine metaphor. It does not just describe reality, it shapes it, perpetuating a ritual and moral structure that persisted for millennia. Furthermore, this discussion traces the transformation of the Varna system from fluid functional divisions to rigid caste structure, analyzing how sacred ideology became social dogma. The final sections explore reinterpretation by modern thinkers like Vivekananda and Radhakrishnan, demonstrating the Sukta's ongoing relevance. Thus, Purusha Sukta becomes not merely a Vedic relic but a living text that continues to inspire debate, interpretations, and social introspection. The central image in Purusha Sukta is the comic's being, Purusha, who is described as thousand-headed, thousand-eyed, thousand-footed, all-compassing, transcendent, sacrificed by the gods to create the universe. A pivotal verse of our study from Purusha Sukta in Rig Veda, the hymns mentions like this. Yat purusham veduduha katitha vakalpayan mukham kimisya kaubahu kaguru pada uchyate. The meaning of this sloka is, when they divided the Purusha into how many parts? Did they arrange him? What became his mouth, arms, thighs, and feet? This metaphor of dismemberment is a powerful cultural motif symbolizing unity through division and cosmic order, emerging from sacrificial destruction. Myth and anthropological universal theme in human culture. Anthropologists have long noted that myths of cosmic sacrifice are not unique to India. The following table clearly provides the myths encoded cosmology, theology, and social rules in symbolic language. From structuralist point of view, Levi-Strauss, they organize human experience through binary opposition order, that is chaos, sacred, profane, self or other. This table clearly explains the culture, mythology being form of creation, Vedic India, that is Purusha, sacrificial dismemberment. Norse, that is Ymir, his body forms earth, sky, and ocean. Mesopotamia, that is Tiamat, Salin to form the cosmos. Chinese, Pangu, his body forms parts of the world. Egypt, Osiris, dismembered, scattered across the land. Now let us look into the social order and the Varna system, that is functionalism in myth. The Purusha Sukta explains the origin of the social classes: mouth, that is Brahmins, priests and teachers; arms, Kshatriya, warriors and rurals; thighs, Vaishyas, merchants and farmers; feet, Shudras, laborers, service providers. Anthropological interpretation for the formation of the human society from Vedic literature. In interpretation, Bronis Melnitzky, a key figure in anthropology, proposed a theory of functionalism, which suggests that every aspect of culture serves as a purpose to maintain the stability and functioning of the society. He believed myths are not just stories but character that justifies and reinforced social practices. From this perspective, Purusha Sukta, a Vedic hymn describing the cosmic being Purusha, whose body parts gave rise to the four Varnas, that is, social classes, can be seen as the mythological framework that legitimizes the division of labor in society. Each body part symbolizes a specific societal function: mouth, Brahmins, priests and teachers, symbolizing the speech and knowledge; arms, Kshatriyas, warriors and rulers, represents strength and protection; thighs, Vaishyas, merchants and farmers, signifying support and economy; feet, shoulders, that is labors, denotifying foundation and service. According to Melnitzky, such a myth functioned in reinforce the social structure by embedding it in divine order. It gave people a sacred understanding of their role in society, reducing conflict and enhancing cohesion. Thus, the Purusha Sukta served as a critical role in maintaining the social fabric of ancient Vedic civilization. Now, let us look into the Emil Durkheim's view, a collective consciousness of Purusha Sukta. Emil Durkheim, a founding figure in sociology and anthropology, introduced the concept of collective conscience, the shared beliefs, values, and moral attitudes that bind a society together. He believed that ritual and sacrifices are not merely religious acts, but vital social tools that reinforce unity and social order. In this light, the Purusha Sukta, which describes the cosmic sacrifice of the primordial being Purusha to create the universe and the social structure, can be interpreted as a symbolic representative of collective values. Durkheim would argue that the act of sacrifice in the hymn is a metaphor for the foundational unity of the society. Every time society performs a yajna, that is the ritual sacrifice, it is not only invoking the divine but reenacting the original cosmic order described in the hymn. Though the ritual practices, the community reaffirms its social structure, moral roles, and the shared worldview that emerge from the Purusha. The sacrifice becomes the symbolic act of solidarity. Each class and role born from the divine being is honored, maintaining the sacred social balance. Thus, for Durkheim, the Purusha Sukta, that is, sacrificing, is not just a creation of a mythology, it is a continuous process of social cohesion and reaffirmation of unity. Now, let us look into the Mary Douglas viewpoint of purity, pollution, and social order in the Purusha Sukta. Mary Douglas, a renowned anthropologist, is best known for her influential work, Purity and Danger, where she argued the notions of purity and pollution are symbolic systems used by societies to maintain order and boundaries. According to Douglas, societies classify people, objects, and actions as pure or impure, not purely by hygiene, but to enforce social structure and hierarchies. In the context of Purusha Sukta, which symbolically divides the cosmic body, that is Purusha, into four varnas: mouth, arms, thighs, and feet, Douglas' theory can be applied to understand how bodily symbolism reinforces sacred social roles. The mouth being associated with speech and knowledge is associated to the priestly classes, that is Brahmins, representing the most pure and sacred. The feet which contact with the ground are associated with the Shudras, seen as the performing service, often viewed as a lower in ritual purity. Douglas would interpret this division as a cultural framework that organizes society around ideas of sacredness, pollution, and power, where maintaining purity equates to preserving social order. The Purusha Sukta thus becomes more than myth. It is a symbolic system that reflects how ancient societies used bodily metaphors, institutionalized hierarchy, and ritual roles. Now let us look into the structuralism and Levi-Strauss myth and social code. Claude Lévi-Strauss, the pioneer of structural anthropology, viewed the myths not as random stories but as a system of thought that reveal how human mind categorizes and understands the world. He argued that myths operate through binary oppositions such as pure versus impure, sacred versus profane, high versus low, which helps societies make sense of their complex realities. In this light, the Purusha Sukta from the Rig Veda functions as a social code by dividing the cosmic being, that is Purusha, into body parts associated with the social classes like mouth, arms, feet. The hymns establishes symbolic structure of the society. These parts are interdependent yet clearly hierarchical, reflecting oppositions like high, low, sacred, and profane. Levi-Strauss would interpret this as a charter myth, that is a term also used by Malinowski, which legitimizes social hierarchy by rooting it in a cosmic divine act. The myth does not just describe society, it justifies and naturalizes it by embedding it into sacred narrative. Thus, Purusha Sukta is more than a religious chant. It is a structured expression of how ancient Indian society conceptualized over division and unity, using myth as a tool of cultural logic. This model is seen not just only in India but also at global societies. The following table clearly shows the society and social model exist globally. Feudal Europe, clergy, nobility, and peasants. Confucian China, scholars, farmers, artisans, and merchants. Ancient Egypt, priests, scribes, soldiers, and workers. Zulu tribes, chieftains, warriors, counselors, and laborers. Now let us look into the aspects of evolution from flexible Varna to rigid caste system. In early Vedic society, Varna, that is literally color or type, was not hereditary but based on skills and duties over time. However, economic specialization and ritual purity, that is concept, a later Vedic age, made roles more static. The Manusmriti codified caste as a hereditary and birth-based. Guilds in the Mauryan and Gupta periods fostered occupational endogamy. British colonial census 19th century categorized and fixed caste identities, turning a fluid system into a rigid one. Anthropological view of these aspects from the side of Max Weber and Louis Dumont on caste system. Max Weber, a functional sociologist, viewed caste as a form of social closure where dominant groups restrict access to privileges, power, and resources. According to Weber, caste functions by limiting social mobility, maintaining exclusivity through mechanisms like endogamy, that is marrying within the group, occupational inheritance, and ritual restrictions. In Weber's framework, the Indian caste system is a status group, one that derives its prestige not from wealth but from ritual standing and social honor. Thus, caste is a way of preserving group privilege and controlling hierarchy through symbolic means. On the other hand, Louis Dumont, a French anthropologist, focused more on ideological foundations of the caste system. In his seminal work, Homo Hierarchus, Dumoit argued that Indian society is fundamentally organized around the concept of purity and pollution, rather than economic class or political power. From Dumoit, the Brahmin's superiority lies in ritual purity, not in material wealth. He contrasted this with the Western class system, which are grounded in economic inequality and individualism, whereas caste is holistic, religious, and collectivist. Together, Weber and Dumoit provide powerful lenses. Weber focuses on access and closure, while Dumoit highlights cultural values and ritual logic that sustain caste over centuries. Now, let us look into the modern interpretation of relevance of Purusha Sukta. In the 20th and 21st centuries, many Indian thinkers and reformers have reinterpreted Purusha Sukta to promote unity and harmony. Dr. Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan argued that all parts of Purusha Sukta are equally essential. No role is inferior. Swami Vivekananda criticized caste rigidity but appreciated symbolic unity in the Purusha Sukta. Contemporary anthropology recognizes such myths as tools for both enforcing and reinstilling social hierarchy. Today, the Purusha Sukta can serve as a model of interdependence rather than inequality. Each individual, like each body part, is vital for the well-being of the whole. Before concluding, let us summarize the discussion which you have made so far. The conclusions: from cosmic sacrifice to cultural systems, reclaiming the meaning of the Purusha Sukta. The Purusha Sukta is far more than a metaphysical origin story. It is a cultural codex that maps the human condition, reflecting the early Vedic understanding of the universe, divinity, and society. In its cosmic narrative of sacrifice and transformation, it embedded a model of interdependence, hierarchy, and divine order that shaped one of the world's oldest civilizations. From the dismembered body of Purusha arises not only the cosmos but the social body, a vision of society grounded in a sacred division, a symbolic logic, and ritual continuity. Anthropologically, the Sukta exemplifies how myth functions as a social character. Melanitsky's view shows it as a tool of social justification. Durkheim's reveals it as a vessel of collective conscience. Mary Douglas uncovers how symbolic purity reinforces roles. Lévi-Strauss interprets it as a structural logic encoding societal oppositions. Together, these perspectives reveal how Vedic myth was not passive belief but active social architect. When compared with the creation myth across cultures, from Amir in Norse legends to Tiamat in Babylonia and Pengu in China, the Purusha Sukta joins a global human pattern. The body becomes world, sacrifice becomes order, and myth becomes law. These myths helped ancient societies manage complexity by naturalizing social roles and cosmic relationships. However, the evolution of Varna to caste distorted the original ideal. What began as a functional symbolic system rooted in cosmic logic became rigid and exclusionary. Reforms like Swami Vivekananda and Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan urged a return to the original unity and sacred interdependence, reflecting in the Purusha Sukta, rejecting casteism while affirming collective harmony. Today's world of division and inequality, the Purusha Sukta offers a timeless reminder that diversity, when rooted in sacred interconnections, sustain the cosmic and social order. By revisiting its layers through an anthropological lens, we not only understand ancient India, we recognize the enduring role of myth in shaping humanity itself. I hope you have enjoyed the piece of discussion on Vedic anthropology and its interpretation in Purusha Sukta, how human societies has formed and its their role. I request you, please forward this link to the students, scholars, group people and friends. Hope we will meet you in another discussion. Thank you for your kind attention and hearing this a piece of discussion. Thank you very much.